What is up, boys and girls? Welcome back to another video brought to you by DotaFanTV, and in today's video is going to be a quick update on the We Play Esports Animajor, where we'll be looking at the playoff stage lower bracket this time. 4 series will be played, and since the lower bracket, the 4 teams that lost have to unfortunately pack their bag and go home. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, boys and girls, the first game we have over here is Team Aster losing to TNC Predator 1-2. This is just super crazy. I think a lot of people would think Team Aster is the favorite to win the tournament. Even a lot of the pro players are saying that. But right now, they bomb out of the playoff stage after 2 series. They come to the major, they play 2 series. One against T1 and then right now TNC, and they are out. They have to pack their bag and leave. And in all these 3 games, right, it's a crazy series. I think right now at this particular moment, it is the best series that I've watched in the entire tournament so far. All 3 games are very, very different. In the first game, it was a bit of a throw by TNC. They were leading by almost 10k, but instead of going for Roche, they attempt the high ground and they dive too deep. They got wiped without buyback, and then they lose Roche to Team Aster, and then Team Aster subsequently, just close out the game because the net worth lead go from 10k lead to TNC to the other way around, 5k lead to Team Aster. Just a bit of immature from TNC side. In the second game, again, I don't think so. In the second game, it is beginning is a lot about the draft. They have you look at Team Aster, they have Brood Mother, and they have the Morphling. Brood Mother basically buys space, Razor buys space for the Morphling to farm, and this is very similar to what we see Team T1 did against Team Aster actually. So they actually copied that strategy and tried to pull it off to TNC. And TNC looking at the Razor is going to be mid, so they don't want the TA to play mid. They are forced to put TA in the safe lane. And TA safe lane against Ench and Brood is just disaster. In the beginning, I think between 10 minutes they were 3-4k down, and that's just crazy. And in my opinion, I already write them off the book. I said, like, looking at the draft, there's no way they can win, and then looking at the game, 10 minutes in, 4k deficit, there's no way they can win this game. But they play the game of their life for a lot of all these players, especially Snapfire on the teams, and teams on the Snapfire, and then Amel on the Bat Rider as well. Both of these combo took down the Brood Mother a couple of times, and then a huge net worth lead going back to them again. And then I also like how this team, they know the only way they can come back is to protect their triangle. They stack 3 or 4 stack, and then they literally, the support literally put their life on the line by going to the triangle, and anyone trying to invade, they just throw their life away. And because Aster have to throw some resource to kill the support, they cannot invade and take the triangle. And eventually TNC stall out the game enough using the Aghanim Scepter on TA, just going around different part of the map, stall the game long enough where they eventually feel like, okay, this is the moment, we have enough item, and if you're gonna win it, is right now. And if you look at the side of Team Aster, Brood Mother and Razor is not the best scaling hero. The only one they have is a Morphling. So at the end of the day, it's basically TA against Morphling. And just this game is just so crazy. In the end, there's so many crazy fight, clutch, buyback, and man, you have to watch this game. If there is one series you have to watch at this particular tournament, and up until this moment, it have to be this series, Team Aster against TNC. The second game especially was just so good. And then we move on to the third game. Honestly, looking at the draft, I was a little bit worried because they picked Tiny again, which this hero, we have talked about it so many times. 30% win rate, it's unplayable a lot of the time. But in this game, I think somehow Amel managed to make it work. And not only that, I'm not sure why they picked Faces War into this lineup. Looking at how they have Boomy on the Warlock, and they have Winter Wyvern position 4, because with these 2 crazy amount of heal kind of support, right, you need to be able to find way to catch a back line, and Puck just failed to do so. And then a lot of the time, Faces Void as well tried to initiate with the chrono. I think in the entire game, how long is this game, the third game? Let's take a look. 38 minutes. In the entire game, there is no chrono that is I would consider good in my book, because Most of the time he cast it too early in the fight, where maybe he managed to catch one, maybe a Gabby or maybe an Amel, where he couldn't burst the hero by himself, and he also couldn't, like with Winter Wyvern sitting at the back, he can just curse you or he can just heal the person that you're hitting. So it's very minimal impact from Monet. I think maybe the nerf kind of get into Team Aster being the favorite coming into the tournament, and when they face a problem, they feel kind of lost. And yeah, it's very uncharacteristic from Monet. He's such a good player, but when we look at his Void comparing to other really, really brilliant Void player, it's just a good Void would just come into the game and be very patient with his chrono and not just throw it out like that. But a lot of the time he keep using it, it doesn't work, but they don't really change the way they approach the game. Eventually, I would say the third game is a comfortable win by TNC and they deserve it. I'm sorry. For our second series of the day, we have Alliance losing out to Team Spirit 2-1. Are you guys looking at this? Guys, what the hell is wrong with Team Alliance? You know, I saw a stat today saying that the entire season since the beginning of the year, across two majors, Alliance have not won a single series across two majors that they have participated. And they have only won one game, I think, or two games or something like that. And the rest, they just lost everything. Oh my god, what is wrong with Alliance with and LAN event? Is it like players are not prepared? Players, I have no idea. But it wasn't like the opponent is playing exceptionally well. I mean, no disrespect to Team Spirit, they played well, but it's not like, you know, LGD on Nigma where, you know, when Alliance lost to LGD, I don't fault them as much. But looking at Alliance themselves, they have to look at themselves for sure. They haven't been playing up to their standard, like what they have played in EU. Right, we followed them the entire season. We know what kind of ability they can have. But to bomb out of the major just like that, similar to Team Aster that we have seen, you know, first in EU and first in China, it seems like a curse. Virtus Pro have to be sweating right now. Let's look at the game very, very quickly. I think the first game, it wasn't even close. Let's look at the score, 10-37. In the beginning, 5 to 10 minutes maybe is even, but once some of these heroes start to play more active, especially on the Wind Ranger and Mars, it's it's just unplayable. I don't see Alliance making any anything they do. It was like very reactionary, and whenever, even though they tried something, it feels like they were too desperate. They were too far behind when they make that kind of move. And also, I want to talk about this. Like, what the hell is this last track position for? Like, what the hell is this, literally? Hanskin is one of the best post 4 I've seen. And they put him in the lash. Like, come on, man. What the hell? In the second game, Alliance playing a little bit more of their style of game, where they have Nico Baby on the W Wraith King, where he's super comfortable. And again, this game, I think, is really relied a lot on Hanskin, on how many times he catch Park or TB, the amount of lockdown he's able to provide, right? And then we go to the third game. Man, look at the score, 2-25. It's not even close. Like, they can literally call GG. How long is this game? I think it's 39 minutes. They can literally call GG by, like, maybe here. Like, it's not even close. By 20 minutes, they can recall GG. Up until here is 0% win rate. Like, I know this can be shit tons on me, man. I fucking love it. Like, people saying, like, 6-man Dota, without 6-man, they are crap. They can't win shit. Like, I don't fully believe in that, but man, you're making it too easy for the trolls and for the meme and to talk about you in that way. I'm sorry, Alliance fans, but man, what is going on? I don't know whether Alliance is a huge organization. If this, I don't think it has to do with the ability of the player, because we know what they are able to do. So it has to be psychological or preparation that wasn't done right. And Alliance, as a big organization, they have to start looking at, like, maybe sports psychologists or something like that to help them out with this issue, because looking at how it is already, 2 major in a row where they just bombed out. In the first major, they were in a group stage, they didn't even win a single series. I don't know if they win any match, to be honest. But in the second season, you expect even more, because they did so well in their own league, right, in EU. But once coming into the major, they lost 2 series in a row and they're out. It's like, what is going on? I think I talked a little bit too much on Alliance and I didn't give enough credit to Team Spirit. Looking at how they play, they caused 2 upsets so far, which is one against Team Liquid. They knocked them out in the tiebreaker in the group stage, and then right now against Alliance. I think a lot of people like would underestimate Team Spirit as a organization or as a team. They were relatively young player. They were brave. Collapse especially on the Magnus 1-0 and 13. The amount of skewer that he did, like drag people out of position and just his team collapse and kill collapse, pun intended, and kill the hero is just crazy. I think they were playing really, really brave. They were coming out of their comfort zone. They say, we have this, and they just went for it. And Alliance have no answer to that. So huge credit to Team Spirit as well. I kind of feel like they haven't really met an opponent where it's not as easy, but I would like to see that happen and see whether they are able to pull out something like that again or not, right? So I'll keep an eye on this team. Okay, for those who may have noticed, if you notice the background is already daytime, the reason for that is because I'm recording this the day after, the games was ending at 5 a.m. in Malaysia time. I'm too tired to record anything. But anyway, let's continue talking about the last 2 series we have over here, which is VP against Vici Gaming, where Vici Gaming outclassed versus Pro, taking the entire game, 2-1. In the first 2 games, I won't go too deep into it because I think the first game was very much a storm by Vici Gaming. Virtus Pro again feels like they're not warmed up. I think partly also because due to not having played any upper bracket game or whatever. In the second game, they seems like the VP that we know, very dominant, they assert that kind of pressure that is very aggressive, but at the same time it's very controlled. They know when to jump in, they know when to get out. With the Death Prophet and Centaur, they took very early tower, map control, Nightfall on the Luna just pops up with the crazy amount of net worth ahead of the Ursa. It's not a good matchup I've seen so far. All the Ursa against Luna that I've seen, it ended up being Luna, victory to the team that has a Luna in it. In the third game, on the other hand, is a more, I would say slightly more exciting one. I think it was close. Having to say that, I have no idea why VP went for this last pick, Monkey King. Okay, so if you look at the pick order of the last game, right, we look at, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So if you look at the pick order over here, right, for Virtus Pro especially, we can see that they have the Dragonite first pick, Wind Ranger by their post 4, which is safe on the Wind Ranger. Is fantastic. I think he did a really, really good job in the second game and in the third game. Templar, as I say, is fine, Oracle. And then they go for a last pick, safe lane Monkey King. I think this is a major problem because, okay, obviously they see Timbersaw in the lane. It's not going to be an easy game. But the problem with Monkey King in this game in particular is that they don't have any magical damage in the team. The only one that have, basically they don't have, Wind Ranger have a little bit of magic damage, Oracle have a little bit, but they are the support, right? None of the core deal a lot of magic damage. And when all your core are focusing on physical damage, it is very easy for the opponent to itemize for it, right? Like Timbersaw can just go Vanguard or maybe even Assault to protect the team. And besides that, you have Winter Wyvern on Vici Gaming side, which with the Cold Embrace, they just heal and all your physical damage is neglected. And we know how Winter Wyvern is in the meta at the moment as well. And talking about meta, Monkey King is not even the meta hero. It just helps you get by in the laning stage, and that's all. It was, I don't know, and the way they pick Monkey King is they snap pick as well. So I don't really understand this final pick. it only benefit them in the laning stage a little bit. And beyond that, it's very difficult to play Monkey King in this game. You have Timbersaw cutting down the tree, you have Lion to hex and stun, you have Winter Wyvern mitigating all the damage, you have Terrorblade, which is a hero with the highest base armor in the entire hero, like 120 hero in Dota, and you have Storm Spirit, which you cannot really lock down. So how are you going to kill any of those heroes? And I'm going to say it right now, this Monkey King was, oh my god, it was quite a joke as well. The pick was bad, and the way he was played, I don't know if it was the nerf or it's just not good enough. It's simply not good enough. I think there are at least like 3, 4, or even 5 times that it was cut down from the tree before a team fight even start, or maybe halfway throughout a team fight. He was cut down on a tree and he got stunned for 4 seconds. And sometimes it was after his BKB was on and just 4 seconds of your BKB time was gone. You're just standing there. I really don't understand. If this last pick was some other hero, I don't know what it is. You know, I'm not a pro, but other than Monkey King, you can go for a Lash or a safe lane. Morphling, maybe it was banned, but you have to be a little bit more creative instead of picking the Monkey King. It is quite a bad pick in my opinion, and it cost them the game, you know. But having to say that, I think Virtus.pro is a relatively young team. In the loser interview that they did with the coach, I like how the coach was still very confident with the team, and when asked whether he liked the format or not, you know, with them going into the upper bracket, less practice, he said that, you know, if you're a strong team, you will win no matter what, not giving a lot of excuses, not a lot of bullshit kind of person. Maybe that's just the CIS vibe that I get. But anyway, I think it was a good interview. He was very responsible towards his own performance, and I hope to see them have a better showing in the next major. Alright, coming down to the final series of the day, we have NoPing Esports against Evil Genesis, where EG took down NoPing 2-1. I don't think the result comes as a surprise for anyone. EG on paper obviously is much stronger than NoPing Esports, who are relatively unknown, most of the player. Having said that, I still think EG kind of deserve the win. They are a little bit inconsistent. I think from EG side, they did drop the second map because I felt like they kind of sometimes they misread their timing and then play a little bit over the line where they are not there yet, but they think they are. They still make mistake, you know, like I highlighted in the second game. They are ahead, obviously, in the beginning, not by a lot, but still ahead. But they misplay and overplay their card, eventually just lead to a easy win from NoPing Esports. And the third game and the first game, it was basically just NoPing getting outclassed by EG. Nothing much to say over there, especially the third game, it was basically a stomp. Finally, we see Nature Prophet getting picked, but is in the position 1. I don't think that's very viable at the moment, especially how... I'm not sure actually, I'm not too sure about position 1 Nature Prophet, but I think it's more suitable towards mid or off lane to make more play while you make use of the the space that Nature Prophet create, and play on the mid timing for your position 1. And one more thing I want to mention is that I think teams really need to start looking into banning Terrorblade for RTZ. I think RTZ is one of the best position 1 hero player that does micro. So anything that has to do with illusion on position 1, especially in terms of farming, especially in terms of for hero like Terrorblade, Naga Siren, these hero RTZ is in his DNA. It's just so easy for him to play. So teams really need to look out for that. And besides that, talking about South American Dota, I have a little bit more hope in them, knowing that in the previous major, Thunder Predator made it to the top 6 actually, and right now the last team in SA dropped out in the 9th to 12th place, and it's not as convincing because Thunder Predator in the previous major did really well, and then they go back to their domestic league, they finished 3rd behind NoPing and Beast Coast, and my expectation was that they will probably, NoPing and Beast Coast probably are a better team than Thunder Predator, right? So coming to this major, I would expect at least one of them to be able to step up to make it to at least top 8, if not top 6. So the result at the end of the day, not having any representative in the top 8, I think would be a slightly disappointing one from SA. So yeah. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this kind of content, enjoy listening to me rambling about Dota, rambling about the DPC, please let me know by clicking on the like button. A thumbs up really brings the channel a long way. If you don't mind, subscribe to the channel as well. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.